Thank you very much. And firstly, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for the opportunity to come and share some time with you today. John, thanks for your welcome. Like you, I am the proud father of two teenage girls. You have three, I have two. We couldn't be more proud of the young women that they have become. To Candice, what a beautiful welcome, and the notion of the future and looking forward with hope and optimism from a people that have proudly been in this nation for 60,000 years. The optimism and hope that came with your welcome was quite frankly very, very special. To my shadow ministerial team led by Ros Bates here on the Gold Coast, but I acknowledge Sam O'Connor, John Paul Langbrook, Laura Gerber. Thank you for your efforts in a beautiful part of the world. There are a plethora of councillors and aspiring councillors, so I won't name them individually, aside from my local councillor, Shelley Curtis. And I can do that because Shelley isn't up for election because she's been elected unopposed. And Shelley, I want to congratulate you. I've been through a lot of elections. That's never happened to me, so well done to you. Ladies and gentlemen, one of my earliest commitments when I became Leader of the Opposition 3.5 years ago was to have a focus on women's economic security. That was a priority of mine because it was a priority for this state. And I announced the first ever Shadow Minister for Women's Economic Security. And in the last 3 years, Amanda Cam has travelled the length and breadth of the state, listening to women and focusing on their hopes and aspirations. Amanda would join us today, but she's recovering from surgery and she's watching online, and I want to thank her for the work that she has done for us. Above all, one message came through loud and clear, and that is that women believe that their financial freedom had been stripped away from them, and the choice to be able to go back to work was increasingly becoming a very difficult choice. The figures show that, and in Queensland we still have the second highest pay gap in the nation. It's 14.6%. But I want to put that in real terms as to how large that gap is and why it's something we have to have a laser-like focus. If a male and a female started work on the 1st of January last year, 2023, and both finished on the 31st of December last year, it would almost take until today, International Women's Day, for the woman to have made what the male made in that calendar year. And we're in March. So that should hit home how large the gap is and why we have to do so much more in addressing that. This week in Parliament there was a great focus on International Women's Day, and I wouldn't be doing my job as a parliamentarian if I didn't acknowledge some of the programs that the government has announced this week. And one of the things I'm determined to do is, if there's a good idea, it doesn't matter where it comes from, it has to be acknowledged. And I think the highlight of that was a I think the highlight of that was a $9.9 million fund for a statewide public fertility preservation scheme, particularly for people dealing with cancer and other complex medical procedures. It's an excellent announcement, and it's one that will be continued if government changes at the end of this year. But today I want to announce a significant program of our own. I'm announcing the Returning to Work program. If elected in October, we will roll out one of the most ambitious schemes to give women the opportunity to go back to work. It'll be a $20 million fund with grants of up to $5,000 to get women back into the workforce. My vision is that will be a minimum of 1,000 women per year that can return to the workforce by unlocking one of the great barriers to doing so. What do I mean by that? A fund that can be used for the following: technology to upgrade equipment, workwear, childcare, training, development of CVs, transport and relocation costs. They are the barriers that are preventing women to getting back into the workforce, and the least a government can do is give that opportunity, because in the end we will be stronger as a state if we can unlock the opportunity for women to have the choice to go back into the workforce. We have listened to stories and it's become clear that this is a program worth backing. Amanda has relayed some of the most incredible tales. The one I want to share today is of a woman by the name of Alison, who lives in Carina in Brisbane. She's had 4 kids. She's been out of the workforce for 8 years. They rent their home and they do it tough. Her husband works in construction, but she didn't want to go back to work. She wanted to take the time to be with her children. It's time for her to get back to work. And she told us that one of the greatest impediments to doing so was the fact that she didn't have a wardrobe to go back to work. They don't have a second car. Her technology devices aren't up to standard. And I think it's the least that a government can do to try to unlock those opportunities. I personally have met Louise on the coast, who lives in Pacific Pines, and told me that she bought one outfit from Kmart, and that was her outfit to go to job interviews to try and get back into the workforce. I think as a state we can do a little better than that. It's a practical policy, it unlocks opportunities, and in the end, that's what government should be about. In closing, I want to thank everybody for the opportunity to be here. I noticed that this year's theme of International Women's Day is Count Her In. Count her in. Imagine how much we as a state, all of us, will be stronger if we can have more women at the table making the decisions that matter. Thank you very much and all the best for today.
Thank you to the Leader of the